What's up, everybody? Back again with part two of this little series that I'm doing of why I have issues with the police, and this one's going to involve the Justice Department or the criminal justice system, I guess. Whatever. And what we're looking at here is the Washington County Courthouse in Marietta, Ohio. Nice looking building. You know, it's fairly decent looking and all that, but problem is, this place contains a bunch of rat bastard pieces of crap. And somewhere up in the upper levels where the courtrooms are and all that are some real dirty people. So this involves, an incident while I was driving a truck. I don't know, maybe 2010, I think, something like that. It's been several years, obviously. But I was driving for JB Hunt at the time. And I was traveling down I-77 southbound going towards West Virginia. And I get pulled over. Not only do I get pulled over, but two other trucks. All three of us get pulled over at the same time, same cop. He flies past us and then gets out of his car and starts waving us over. And then he proceeds to write every single one of us the same tickets, for 65 and a 55. This is before they changed the speed limits. Back in the old days, they used to have split speed limits for those who didn't know. And trucks were governed at were supposed to do 55 miles an hour in Ohio, which was terrible. But remember, I said I drove for JB Hunt at the time. JB Hunt's trucks are governed at 62 miles an hour. And I had a really light load, so I couldn't have been screaming down the hills or anything like that. But I get pulled over and I get a ticket for that. And I'm like, that's bullshit. I need to go to court. So I come here, I go to court, and I go to the courtroom armed with the information that, my truck is governed at 62 miles an hour, so there's no way I could have been doing 65 and a 55. It's mechanically impossible with my, the truck that I was driving. Well, the officer gets up and does his little spiel, and I didn't realize at the time that, I could have done some tricks in court to get him impeached and all that, which I should have, but, these are learning processes. You learn as you go, and you realize, when you get railroaded and everything, that you got to figure out what the hell's going on. So anyway, he goes up there and he gives his side of the story, which is complete bullshit. And I give my side of the story, which is it's physically impossible that I could have been going that fast. Yet the judge looks at me and says, well, I've known this officer for 20 years. And his word is bond, or something to that effect. Anyway, it's been a long time. I forget exactly what he said, but I do vividly recall him saying he'd known the officer for 20 years, which pissed me off. Because there's not supposed to be any bias in the justice system. You're not supposed to walk into court and have a judge be like, well, this guy's my buddy, so I believe him. That's not the way it's supposed to work. I mean, justice is supposed to be blind, yet obviously it's not blind here. So he convicts me of it, even though I had evidence from the company that the truck was governed at 62 miles an hour. Didn't matter, so I have to pay a fine. He's like, well, I think he said he's going to give me a break, and his fine was only like $25. The problem is the court fees were like $100 and some odd dollars, so it ended up costing me like $200. And that right there is one of the events that shaped my outlook on life, as far as why I have a problem with people, especially government and especially cops and judges and whatnot. They're not trustworthy. They're dirty. They're liars. They don't have your best interest in mind. They don't care about the truth. They care about money. They care about taking from you and harming you. There's no excuse for them, to convict me when I had the evidence to show that my truck could not do what I was accused of doing. That is absolutely enough to cause an acquittal or a dismissal. But jackass judge that was up in this in this courthouse didn't care, just did what he wants to do. So like I said, when people ask me, well, why do you have such a problem with the cops? Well, that's one of the many reasons I have problems with the cops. This incident really shaped me, really changed the way I look at things. This is where I lost all faith in our justice system, because up until then I was under the impression that you could walk into a courtroom, and if you were right and righteous in your cause, that you would be vindicated. And that's obviously not the case. That you know, they don't care about, about truth and justice. They just care about their goals, and their goals is to take from you and take money out of your pocket. And you know, I don't know, maybe there's something else that, to it or whatever, but that's just the way it happens. And so, you know, like I said, that's one of the many reasons. I'll do another part on another location that happened, just a few years ago in Virginia that really pissed me off. But that's the end of this part. Hopefully, you guys will come around for the last part when I get to it.